Today I have a very special video. I am advertising a product that I just came across a couple of weeks ago. So this is called the Strong Neck. And in my honest opinion, this is a must-have for anyone training their neck. Now, it doesn't look like much, I will say. What this is able to do in just the general construction of this is like nothing I've ever used before. Most people, when they're doing neck curls, neck extensions, side neck work, their only options are a 2.5, a 5, a 10, 25, 35, and 45. Once the weight starts getting heavier than that, there are some issues you can roll into. If you're doing neck extensions, not really. If you're doing side and front neck work, how are you going to go from a 45-pound plate to a 45 and a 25, a 45 and a 2.5. How are you going to get the weights to stay there? So my solution has always been a loading pin. There's a hole in the middle, just like a plate. The Strong Neck, it's a foam pad that is slightly curved, that perfectly fits on your head. This was sent to me, did not pay for it, but honestly, after me using this, I'd probably pay double for this. Now you're going to see something really cool here, which a loading pin won't do. Because of the design of the Strong Neck, it is thicker at the bottom that actually will allow this to stay right on, which you can't do with a loading pin, which I think is really cool. And to the point where I can smack it, and you need to put some force to knock it out. So it stays in there. Now let's do some neck curls. Now this is incredibly comfortable. I don't feel like the weight's moving around. It's pretty much stuck to my head. Now, one of the most unique things about the Strong Neck is you can actually play around with different angles. For example, you can put the weight on one side of your head and bias more the left or the right side of the neck simply by moving it, and the foam will adapt to the curvature of your skull. So for front neck curls, I'm honestly going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is a must-have if you like training the front of your neck. Now let's do some back work. Not the biggest fan of holding plates behind my head. Even when I was just starting out with neck training, I never really liked that method. I find you can just get the cheapest harness you have and get a better stimulus. So for the back of the neck harness has always been my go-to. Although I must say, with the foam padding and the Strong Neck, it did feel better than just putting a normal plate behind my head. So I'll give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But the real power of this is for the front and side neck. So let's move into some side neck work. All right, typically I've never liked putting a plate on the side of my neck for neck work. Normally I just use my neck flex and I'll use some bands for the sides of my neck. If you are really big into training your neck, I would definitely get one of these for side neck alone. So jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, football player, hockey player, anything where it is a contact sport, you're being moved around. This is probably a must-have because you need to take training your neck seriously. Whether you're any of those things or just someone that wants a bigger neck, this I feel like is a must-have. Just to end off the video, I am going to show that you can stack multiple plates if need be. Overall, I'll give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's very hard for me to give things a 10 out of 10. There can always be improvements. I believe it says $44.99 Canadian. I don't know what that translates to American. This will take care of the front and the sides. Get a cheap neck harness and you'll have all your neck needs taken care of. I'm just not a big fan of putting plates on behind my head, but if you are someone that likes that, this takes care of all your neck needs.